Here is a quick video tutorial covering how to navigate the File Explorer, this little application down here at the bottom. It seems like a really simple and straightforward task, but being able to navigate the File Explorer efficiently, and by efficiently I mean without using your mouse, will actually save you a lot of time and a lot of, I guess, the frustration that comes with working on a computer in like an office environment. And I think when like your bosses or something is like asking you to find a file, look through some folders, and they're watching you over your shoulder, being able to navigate the File Explorer efficiently is actually really impressive and stores a lot of confidence in you. Whereas if you're on the other end and you're watching like an MBA associate or like a master sergeant try and like double click into folders and subfolders, it's almost painful, like watching how slow they are when you know how to navigate the File Explorer efficiently and effectively. So just a couple things to align on first. This is the Windows key, has the Windows logo, or it might just have like 4 squares. Alt key, very important for all these keyboard shortcuts. Control key, Shift key, and then this Tab key right here. A lot of people don't really know how to use it, but the Tab key allows you to toggle between clickable objects. So instead of having to move your mouse over and click on something, you can just hit Tab a bunch of times and then hit Enter and allow you to do the same thing as like clicking on it. If you want to go in the opposite direction, you'd hit Shift Tab. It'll be a little bit more clear when we get into the actual File Explorer itself. But before we do that, I think it might be a good idea to just go over a couple of general computer shortcuts. So if you just use the Tab key, Enter key in your keyboard, you can completely log on to your computer without ever using the mouse. Let's say you want to log on to your computer, you got to this screen, you can hit the Windows key to open up the Start menu. Escape will allow you to close it. It's in like the top left corner of your keyboard. So if you wanted to open up Chrome or whatever, you could open up Chrome. And then if you want to open up a new tab, you can press Control T. And then if you want to like log into your whatever, your bank or whatever, you can log in and never ever use your mouse at all. So just type in my username and password here. And then if I hit Tab, I can type in my password, and then hit Tab again, I can hit Enter and just log in like that. If you want to close something like this, Control W will close the tab, and then Control W will close the window itself. So we could just type in File Explorer after hitting the Windows key and opening up the Start tab, but there's actually a better shortcut for that. So hit Escape to close the Start tab, and then hold down the Windows key and press E to open up the File Explorer. It's like a shortcut you can use. And then if you wanted to open up the settings, Windows key and I, as in India. If you go here, you'll notice that this spot right here is kind of like highlighted, and then the home stuff is here. So if I hit up and down, I can navigate here. If I hit Enter on Bluetooth and devices, it'll take me to my Bluetooth and devices. And notice how like I can't hit the right arrow to get to these boxes. I'm trying right now, but I can only hit up and down. So what you do here is you hit Tab, Tab, and it brings you to like the next clickable object. So now I can like go left and right here and navigate between all the devices that are connected to my Bluetooth. But let's say I wanted to click on this more options setting right here. I'm hitting like up and down. It's not really doing anything. What you do here is you hit Tab and you hit Enter, and it allows you to disconnect or remove the device. If I don't want to do that, I hit Escape, and I want to go back to like the stuff over here to go to the system or the network and internet. I would hit Shift Tab again, and then I would go from there. So that's pretty helpful. Actually, I think I'll just close the settings tab and we can start on the File Explorer. We'll talk about File Explorer navigation, and then we'll talk about creating folders, kind of like naming conventions, and then how to navigate folders based on the names, and then renaming stuff and other things like that. So hit Windows Echo to open up your File Explorer. So your File Explorer is split up into two things. You have like your quick access column here, and the rest of it's like what you're actually looking at. So this is my home right now. And since I'm in the home section, we can look at all the things that are in my home section. But right now, if I hit up, down, I can only navigate things that are inside my home section. hit left or right, doesn't do anything. So just like in the settings application, you hit Shift Tab, then it allows you to navigate into things here. Let's say I want to go to my Army folder, I'll hit Enter, and then this will bring me to my Army folder. I'm trying to get over, I'll have to hit Tab. And once I'm in the actual folder itself, I can hit up, down, left, right. Let's say I want to go into the folder, I hit Enter. I would hit page down if I want to go to the bottom, or page up if I want to go to the top, or I can go individually and just hit the arrow key, and it'll allow me to kind of navigate up and down that. So again, if you want to go into a folder, you hit Enter, and now it brings you to this. So if you hit page down, it brings you to the last file. But let's say you had a bunch of other files and they extended beyond the bottom of your screen. What would you do in that case? In that case, okay, let me zoom in. Okay, so, all right, we know that there are more files beyond this end final because we made a bunch of copies. But let's say you only have like the page up. Page up brings you to the top of the page. Page down brings you to the bottom of the page. But if you want to go to the top of the folder, you hit the home button. If you want to go to the bottom of the folder, you hit the end button. All right. If you want to select a bunch of folders, right now, like just being on one will select it. If you want to select multiple, hold down Shift and use the arrow keys, or you can do Shift page down, or you can do Shift end if you want to select all of them. And what this allows you to do is select more folders at once. If you want to delete folders, you can hit delete. But just be careful about deleting folders, because if somebody is in like PowerPoint, Word, or Excel in a file, if they're actively using the file or they have the file open in one of those folders, the File Explorer won't let you delete it. And the same goes for if you have that file open. So if you have PowerPoint open within this end final folder, you wouldn't be able to delete this folder. Let's say you want to move stuff. I want to move this end final copy into like my Monday folder. So one thing you could do is you could press Control C to copy the folder. Page up will take you to the folder you want to go to. Hit Enter, and you can hit Control V, and that'll put the folder inside the folder. Let's say you want to get back outside of the folder. You can hit Alt, and then the up arrow will take you to the parent folder. So notice how you have like the kind of layers here. I'm in the test folder right now, and I have a bunch of these like named folders within my test folder. I hit Enter to go into the folder, and now I'm in the Monday folder. But if I wanted to go back to this test folder, honestly, some people don't even know this, but you could click on this and go back to the test folder. But it's much, much faster if you were just hit Alt up. And then you hit Alt up, and you go to the bottom, go to the top, and it's pretty easy. Something else is if you hit Control X, now the folder is kind of like grayed out, because what you're doing is you're not copying it, you're cutting it. So you're truly like moving the folder in that sense. And as you can see right here, now the folder is gone, because instead of copy and pasting, we cut and paste. If that makes any sense. Cool. So I'll delete this folder. I'll go back here. So now we kind of know how to add folders in, or if we know how to go in and out of folders. Now let's talk about like adding a folder. If you hit Control Shift N, it adds a new folder, and you can name it like whatever you want. But instead of just using the up and down arrows, which is helpful if you don't have too many folders, sometimes you only know the file by name. You know the start of the name of the file, and you want to find it that way. So what would you do in that case? If you hit the first letter or number of the file name, let's say I want to go to the Sunday folder, I could hit 7, and it'll take me to the Sunday folder. And if you have like multiple files or folders that start with the same alphanumeric character, you can type in more than one. So let's say I want to go to like day 10, I would type in 10 and it'd take me there. But if I just type in 1, I'm at the top, it goes downward, by the way. If I just type in 1, it'll take me to day 10. So let's say I wanted to go to day 11, I would type in 1, 1. Or if I wanted to go to Monday, I would type in 1 dot. And the same also works if it's letters. So that's a good way to navigate it as well. You can kind of jump to the folder or the file that you want based on its name. So let's say we're adding these folders. We do like an end, final, conclusion. You hit F2 to go into it, and it allows you to rename it. So you can name it something else, or you can hit Control Z and unname it. So control for final and conclusion, hit F2, and now you're able to navigate that way. Same principle applies for other things, like if you're in a sentence, like in a PowerPoint or Word document, you can navigate quicker if you hold down the Control key and hit left. It allows you to jump words at a entire time. Or you can hit Control and then up and down will also allow you to go through the same sentence. Hit Control Shift, it'll allow you to highlight an entire word before a space. So let's say you wanted to hit Escape to get out of that. If you wanted to rename it F2, and you just wanted to do end conclusion, Control left, Control Shift left, get rid of that, enter to rename it. So that's how you would rename folders and do things like that. Something else that'll help you is if you have a left click key on your keyboard, I think most government laptops and computers do have this, you can use this to like left click it. And that's important because there are a lot of functions you need the left click for, not so much for folders, but for like files or PDFs. If you want to open it in the right kind of PDF, it's easier to like left click it first. So if I just left click it with my mouse, it brings up kind of this menu and allows me to do things. But I can also just hit the left click key and get the same effect. If your keyboard doesn't have a left click key, you can hit Shift F10 and it does the exact same function as if you had a left click key. So let's say like I wanted a folder that I use frequently, like a folder that I use all the time, and I wanted to get it pinned to my quick access. Let me just unpin this real quick. All right, let's say I wanted the Monday folder on my quick access. Left click with the left click key, and then hit pin to quick access. Don't do pin to start, pin to quick access, and then my Monday folder will show up here. So I can open it a little more easily than like if I have to navigate into my Army, into my 389 CSSB, into my test folder to get the Monday folder. That's also a helpful thing to do. And if you really needed it like every single day, you could also add it as a keyboard shortcut to your desktop itself and program a keystroke, but I don't think that's as necessary or as beneficial. So now we'll talk a little bit more about using the left click key effectively. Let's say I want to open a PDF. I could go to my personal admin folder, I'll look for my resume. All right, and I want to open up my resume. If I click enter, it'll automatically open it up in Chrome, but I want to open it up in Adobe. So Shift F10 and then open with, I hit down arrow, and then I hit right arrow to open up that little caret. And now I can do Adobe, Chrome, or Edge. And I want to open up in Adobe, so I'll just hit enter that way. And then that'll allow me to open up the file in Adobe instead of having to open it up in Chrome or instead of having to like left click it and deal with that. So now I've opened up the file in Adobe. I have it on my other monitor looking at it now. And that is all I want to do with that file. Okay, that's all the kind of useful tips and tricks for navigating the File Explorer. If there's anything else that's confusing or if there are any questions, please be so kind to leave a comment on my YouTube video and I'll try to get back to you. Just really busy with all the subscribers I have. But that's all. Thanks for watching.